Good evening to all present here. Today, we embark together on a journey through one of the most profound, mysterious, and fascinating ideas known to humankind, the idea of dimensions. Over the next 12 hours, I invite you to expand your thinking beyond the world you see around you, to travel not only through length, width, and height, but into time itself, and perhaps beyond the limits of our universe. Let us start at the very beginning. What is a dimension? A dimension is, in the simplest sense, a measurable extent of some kind, length, breadth, depth, or height. We live our daily lives moving through 3 dimensions. We walk forward and backward. We step left and right. We climb up or down stairs. These are all movements in 3-dimensional space. But what if I told you that, in reality, this is just the surface of a much deeper truth? Imagine, for a moment, a world that exists on a single line, a world that knows only 1-dimension length. The creatures of that world could move only forward or backward. They could never know left or right, up or down. Now imagine they suddenly became aware of the 2nd dimension, how astonishing that would be for them. And so, today I ask, what higher dimensions are we blind to? What truths might await us if we could only step beyond what we can see and touch? Let's begin. Asterisk. Respected members of this gathering, dear friends, fellow seekers of knowledge, I stand before you today to explore with you one of the most fascinating and profound ideas known to humankind, dimensions. Today will not merely be an academic exercise. It is a journey through space, time, imagination, science, art, philosophy, and beyond. We shall start with the basic concept of dimensions as defined in mathematics, and slowly, carefully, we will ascend into higher realms, into the 4th dimension, the 5th, the 10th, and even those dimensions that may not yet have names. Let us begin at the foundation. What is a dimension? At its most basic, a dimension is a measurable extent of some kind, length, breadth, depth, height. Imagine a point. A simple dot, no length, no width, no height. It has 0 dimension. Now imagine that point moves, it traces a line. That line has length but nothing else. This is 1 dimension. Let the line move, sweep through space, and you get a plane. Now you have 2 dimensions, length and width. Let that plane move up or down, you now have a solid, an object in 3 dimensions. Length, width, height. The world we see, touch, and move through every moment of our lives is 3-dimensional. But here is where wonder begins. What if there is more? Picture, if you will, a being that exists only along a single line. It knows only forward and backward. To it, left or right means nothing. Up and down are incomprehensible. Imagine a creature of the 1-dimensional world. To it, its universe is complete. It does not know what it is missing. If we, from our higher dimension, tried to show it what a square is or a circle, it would be impossible. The poor creature could only see a single point or a line segment at a time, as that higher shape passed through its world. Does this sound strange? Remember this, for soon we will ask, could we be like that 1-dimensional being, blind to higher realities that exist just beyond our perception? Let us move up. Imagine now a world that exists entirely on a flat plane. This world was famously described in Edwin Abbott's book Flatland. The beings of Flatland know only 2 directions, forward-backward, left-right. There is no up or down. If you were to enter Flatland as a sphere, the Flatlanders would see you as a circle that grows and shrinks as you pass through their plane. They would have no idea of your true form. To a Flatlander, a sphere is a mystery, beyond reason, beyond imagination. And again we must ask, are we 3-dimensional Flatlanders? Could there be shapes, beings, or forces that move through our world from higher dimensions, appearing to us only as strange phenomena, just as the sphere appeared to the Flatlanders. 3 dimensions. Our world. This is where we live. We know length, width, and height. Our entire physical experience. Our homes, our cities, the oceans, the skies. They all exist in 3-dimensional space. But let me pause here to reflect on a beautiful truth. Even in our familiar 3 dimensions, there is infinite complexity. From the smallest atom to the vastest galaxy, the interplay of 3-dimensional forms gives rise to all the beauty we see. Artists capture it on canvas. Engineers build within it. Nature shapes it. The 4th dimension, time. And now we take a step further. In the early 20th century, Albert Einstein changed everything. He taught us that time is not separate from space. Together, they form what we now call space-time. Time is the 4th dimension. We are not static objects in space. We are travelers through space-time, moving ever forward along the axis of time at the speed of light. Think of this. If you were to see the entirety of space-time at once, you would not see yourself as a point. You would see a long, snake-like shape, the path of your body through space and time from birth to death. But unlike the 3 dimensions of space, we cannot choose how to move through time. We are carried along its river, unable to turn back, unable to pause. Or are we? Is this an illusion? Could higher dimensional beings move freely through time, just as we move through space?
At this point, I invite you to close your eyes for just a moment. Breathe deeply. Picture yourself not as a point in space, but as a long thread stretching from your earliest memory to this very moment and beyond. Now ask yourself, what is beyond what I can see? What dimensions might I yet discover? The 0 dimension, the point. Let's go to the very beginning, the 0 dimension. A point, a location, no size, no length, no width, no height. It simply is. A point marks a position but has no extent. When we draw a dot on paper, we call it a point. But that dot, no matter how small, has some size. A true point in mathematics is infinitely small. It is the seed from which higher dimensions grow. Early thinkers on dimensions. The idea of dimensions goes far back. The ancient Greek mathematician Euclid wrote the Elements, describing points, lines, and planes. His work gave us the basis for geometry, the study of dimensions. Centuries later, Descartes introduced the idea of using numbers, coordinates, to describe space. This was revolutionary. With this, geometry became algebra, and dimensions could be measured with numbers. Immanuel Kant, the philosopher, pondered whether space itself is a structure of our minds, a way we organize experience. Through history, thinkers have struggled with what a dimension really is. Is it something real out there? Or is it a tool, a concept we use to describe what we see? This question remains deep even today. Let's take a moment. Look around you. The walls, the floor, the ceiling, these are all planes and volumes in 3-dimensional space. Now imagine, if you can, what it would be like if a new direction, invisible to us, suddenly became visible. What would it look like? How would our world change?